Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez Gaming Experience, part 12 of the Pokemon Emerald walkthrough, where once again, relatively short part and not really much going on with it except for going through yet another route, and I promise things will start picking up in the next, I want to say 1 to 2 parts, okay? Really, the only thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to finish out Route 111 and then go throughout Route number 113. When I say finish out Route 11, I mean the first time going through it. We still do not have the goggles needed in order to go through the desert sandstorm portion of it. But we are going to be finishing up the northern part of Route 1, number 11. Route number 1, number 11. Something like that. Anyways, a little bit frantic because I had completely forgotten that I had yet to actually get the audio recording for this part done today. And looking at the time, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, actually, this has to be uploaded in about like a couple hours or so. So I gotta get this done. I gotta get it rendered, ready to go, and all uploaded within about the next couple hours, which I should be able to get done anyways, but my goodness, completely threw me off. I was in the middle of just playing something, enjoying a relaxing evening. And then I took a look and I was like, oh, sweet, it's about, like, I'm not going to say when, but it's like, it's about so-and-so time, and I'm like, I still haven't done the audio portion for Pokemon Emerald yet. Okay, we got to get that done right away. We got to get that up and going. So, yeah, a little bit frantic, but you know what? Hey, sometimes it happens every so often or so. But yeah, like I said, all we're going to be doing is finishing out Route 111 and going to be traversing through Route number 113 as well. And aside from that, really not much else is going on here. A couple trainer fights, a couple duel fights. Again, things start picking up. It'll start picking up in the next part, because I believe in the next part is when we are finally adding a new addition to the Pokemon team. And then the part after that, we should be going against the next gym. No, I take that back. It won't be the next part. It'll be the part after, I want to say. It's hard for me to determine, because I actually thought that I'd be a little bit further in this part than I ended up actually being, but there's a little bit more trainer fights that took a little bit longer than I initially thought that it would. Really, I thought I'd actually get through Route 113. I believe it's Route 14 next. I thought I actually could have gotten through both those routes in one part. And if I wanted to make it a half-hour part, I probably could have. But again, you guys know me. I kind of want to avoid that if at all possible. And finishing out Route 111 and Route 113 actually just took up a little bit more time than I initially thought. So, again, trainer fights, they do tend to take quite a good chunk of time out. That's why, what was it, oh my god, I want to say 16 and 17 in the first generation Pokemon, it just drags, because all it is trainer fight after trainer fight after trainer fight, and it feels like there's really no end to them. And I'm not exactly sure where the only thing I can think about in Gen 2 is when you start learning Surf, and then you have that whole entire row of just trainer after trainer, swimmer after swimmer you have to face, as well as dealing with wild Pokemon surfing on the waters in order to get to another badge location. So, every single Pokemon generation, there's this long lull, basically, what I named in the last episode anyways. There's this big lull of just nothing but trainer fights going on. Okay, and we've already hit that portion of it with this game, but there are some other portions where there are long bouts of trainer fights, but, this is like the long portion where it's like a whole bunch of trainers in between going from one gym to another, because last gym leader we went against was, 3-4 parts ago or so, and it's been nothing but trainer parts since then. Now, granted, some of that is because I took the left route to go to Route 117 first before going up to Route 111, but I initially did that because I wanted to get the move HM Strength just right away, and just to, connect those two parallels, connect Route 117 to 116 before moving onward, okay? But here we are now in Route number 113, and what could be mistaken for a Winter Wonderland is actually an Ash Wonderland. This is, I guess, right underneath where an active volcano is at, and they just have a whole bunch of ash everywhere. And I guess the people here are very much used to it because it doesn't bother them one bit. We even have a Ninja Boy hiding in the ash, and it's a little bit disturbing. And as you'll notice, whenever you walk through the tall grass, the ash of it, the color changes anyways, from going a bit of an ash, like tan, brownish kind of color, to a normal, green grass color. We are going to be getting ourselves an item here in a bit where we can actually collect the ash by walking through the grass, and then you give it to this guy and he'll give you an item, and that's really about it. Don't really think I'm going to be showcasing that, though. I'll showcase where to get the item I might go out of my way and off camera. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. For the next part, what I'll do is off camera, I will collect the right amount of ash that is needed and then go to the guy to showcase what it is that you get for collecting it. Because, you know, what's the point of showcasing, hey, you can get this item without showing what the item kind of does in some instances anyways. Again, I'm not going to show off what every single TM move does or so, but you know, I feel like, you know, it's relative enough where it's like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and actually collect the ash and take it to the glass blower, I think is what the guy's name is, or something like that, and get the item based off of it. So we'll look to do that. I'll just grind. I'll do some grinding off camera, but it's actually ash grinding instead of, you know, Pokemon grinding and whatnot. But I believe it's like 300 steps worth. And he does tell you when you talk with him, if you haven't collected enough ash for him to utilize it, he will go of his way and tell you, hey, you know, you need this many more steps in order to have the right amount for me to utilize. So, you know, but I think it's like around 300 steps or so. I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, I think this is our first look at a Pokemaniac, which, you know, Pokemaniacs, they've always had like interesting looking. Like, the biggest one that I remember sprite-wise was it was a Gen 2 where the Pokemaniac was a guy in like a trench coat. And it's like, he's not a Pokemon maniac, he is just a maniac. You can just cross out the pokey part of it and just make him a flat-out maniac. But I really love the detail in the sprite of this one where he's like half a Pokemon, I guess. In fact, I might have to take a look after we beat his, I think he has 2 Aarons on his team. We actually did get a little bit unlucky with what 2 trainers fought against us. We actually want to go against the Pokemaniac because then we have an easier time with Combuskin going against Aaron, but because we didn't get lucky and we actually got the Ninja and what was it, the Camper, had them go against us first, you know, Sableye pretty much by himself going against Aaron. Not all that bad, but it allows Aaron to get, you know, a move off, which is just Iron Defense. Doesn't really matter with Nightshade, but time-wise, it would have been a lot faster if the Pokemaniac noticed us for the dual fight, so Combuskin would have an easier time. I actually do want to take a look here. What is it? I'm guessing it's a Charizard, you know, his bottom half is basically just a Charizard. But I also love how the Pokemaniac looks like a scientist in a way. He has the glasses, he has the white shirt, and he kind of, it doesn't really look like a maniac, and then when you go against him, it's like, wow, you look nothing like what your sprite showcased you to look like. That is crazy. Makes him even more of a maniac, I guess. But yeah, I like how the maniacs went from being, you know, a trench coat, you know, dealing some dope in your back neighborhood rally area, whatever kind of ordeal. I'm having a really hard time coming up with words here. My brain's like all kinds of scattered and whatnot. But going over basically that guy to just a dude wearing half a Charizard costume, you know. So Pokemaniacs really have done better with themselves, I guess. I guess all they really wanted to sell all that dope for was just to save up enough money to get themselves a Charizard costume. Unfortunately for this guy, he was only able to get half of one. Also, the Parasol person. The sprite is exactly that of the, oh my god, what is it? The Pokemon fan club female. You know, they look exactly the same, so it's hard to tell overworld-wise what you're going to be going against, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I've been talking and rambling along. We still haven't gone through our stats of this area yet. Thankfully, though, not a whole lot of stats to go through. It's actually relatively simple. So, if you're playing the Ruby and Sapphire version, you have a 25% chance to run into a Sandshrew, whereas in our Emerald version, it's a 25% chance to get a Slugma, a 5% chance for a Skarmory, and a 70% chance for a Spinda in all 3 versions. And that's it. So if you, and it's really weird that in the Emerald version it is a Slugma and that you don't have a chance to get a Sandshrew. I don't remember, but I don't think in the Fiery Path you can get yourself a Sandshrew, but you can get yourself a Slugma there. So we can get a Slugma there, and we can get a Slugma here, which also doesn't make sense of a Slugma randomly being in wild grass, because he's just going to set the whole entire field on fire, I would think anyways. And again, because we can already get a Slugma in one area, we would much rather get ourselves a Sandshrew here, I would think. But really, the #1 prize that, you know, people are probably looking for is picking up a Skarmory over here. Just because, you know, get yourself an early steel and a flying type on top of that. And as far as I, you know, have heard, I guess Skarmory in Gen 3 was actually one of the top Pokemon because I guess I can't remember what it was, but it was because of his speed. It took a certain number of hits, even if he was weak to an attack. It took a certain number of hits to take him down, especially if he had the ability Sturdy to get at least one move off, and with a certain item. I don't fully remember. Again, I've done no competitive Pokemon, but I have watched channels that discuss competitive Pokemon, and I do remember watching certain ones that did talk about the fact that Skarmory actually was one of the best Pokemon, especially in Gen 3. So really, you know, if you're looking to have a really good team in Gen number 3, I guess is the area you'd want to be at. And I guess it's also talking Smogon related. There wasn't, I guess, VGC for Gen 3 that actually started in Gen 4, I guess. I don't know. Again, competitiveness, I unfortunately never had the opportunities to play it. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, though, is that Sableye does have the ability Feint Attack right now, which is a guaranteed hit. It's a lot like Swift, except for it has a darkness typing to it and a power of 60, which is good, on top of the fact that I also remembered, oh yeah, the black sunglasses. Sableye has dark style moves like Feint Attack. So once I taught him the Feint Attack, it's like, oh yeah, I should probably give him these so he can get the most out of it. And I feel like I already did it in this video. If not, it should be coming up. But again, there's a point where I look and I'm like, oh geez, why have I not put this on Sableye yet? And then I do. Maybe it's actually when I sell the nugget that I end up picking up. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, so Feint Attack actually one of the better moves for Sableye to have in this particular portion of the game, because again, you throw on the black glasses with it, and I believe that increases it to what, at least 75, maybe 80 damage. I don't remember exactly the percentage that your dark type moves get increased by wearing the black sunglasses, but it's enough to where Feint Attack, the fact that it's a guaranteed hit, is actually one of the better moves for Sableye to use, you know, until we get something like a Shadow Ball later on. You know me, 100% chance to hit no matter what. I'm always going to go for something like that. Anyways, so yeah. So we've already gotten the item. I can't remember exactly what it was called again, but we're already starting to collect ourselves on the ash just by running through the grass. But we've only got these 2 trainers to go against, and we'll find ourselves in the next city, of which its name completely escapes me because it's a rather obscure name. But because of that, we go into the next area, we're going to end up selling an item, and we're actually going inside a Poke Center for the first time in a while, because there's actually somebody in the Pokemon Center that we actually want to chat with, and then by then the part's going to be over. Again, we're just really going through route number 113, and I will be looking to showcase what collecting all the ash ends up doing. But first we got to go against, you know, the aforementioned Skarmory there that did not have Sturdy, so I was able to one-hit kill him with Combustion. Have a nice day. Feels good, I guess. Swallow, normal fighting type. He's basically, I think he's the, I want to say Swallow is only the second. It's Talos, Swallow, and then I can't remember what the last one is. I don't think Swallow is the last evolution of the line, but I don't know. I've never actually used Talos. The only like normal flying type Pokemon that I really ever used was my Pidgeot, because I don't know, there was just something about catching him at level 2 and raising him all the way to level 100 that just kept Pidgeot, like, near and dear to my Pokemon-loving heart, I guess. The only other one that was normal flying type that I ever used was Doduo and Dodrio, obviously. And that was really about it. I never, you know, the whole entire flying normal type, you don't really get a whole lot of great moves off of it. You know, you have your basic flying, but other than maybe a Hyper Beam, you don't really get too much else out of it. Anyways, we're in the new town. I didn't even look to see what the town name was. Doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of doing this so I can be like, oh, hey, let's go ahead and get rid of our nugget here. I'm guessing that because I did not see the black sunglasses, I had already sold them. And getting ourselves a couple super repels here, because, you know, the more you can double up on how much you can repel Pokemon, the better. We're not going all the way in because it's not a max repel. Once we start getting to like max repels, I'll probably be buying them at like 20 a piece or so, because I just, you know, want to just kind of move smoothly without having to deal with any kind of wild Pokemon. But the reason why we're coming inside the PEC is because we need to talk to this person right here that is messing with it and says, hey, come and meet me at my place, and, you know, it's okay that you're a minor. We're just gonna, you know, do things discreetly, and no one really needs to know about it. And she gives us a free doll too. That's kind of like the only thing you get out of it when talking to her. So it's like, boy, she's really hitting on us, let me tell you. But with that bit of awkwardness there, that was probably one of the worst episodes I have ever done, for sure. But hey, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll catch you all in the next part.